Naruto God Level Majin Buu, Chapter 241-260. 241 Chen's Research, Mangekyo's Left Eye. Go back to the Uchiha clan first, Makoto may be in a hurry. Chen hugged Kushina and laughed softly. Kushina looked at Chen tenderly and nodded lightly. The two left together and walked towards the Uchiha tribe. Back to the Uchiha clan, although it was already night, the clan was brightly lit, and the clan people basically did not rest. Everyone knew that Chen went to Uchiha to propose marriage, so they were all waiting for the result. As soon as Chen returned to the clan, they heard a commotion, and when everyone saw Chen and Kushina returning together, they were all happy, and they all bowed to Chen. Deputy Chief. I have seen the Deputy Patriarch. Everyone from the clan saluted Chen. Chen. A figure dashed out and threw directly into Chen's arms. It was Makoto. Makoto has long black hair, and his delicate face is full of worry. Chen, are you all right? I heard that someone with Jen got into a fight, and the head of the family told us not to act rashly, otherwise I will go to the Uzumaki clan. Makoto carefully examined Chen's body, lest Chen be injured. Chen shook his head. It's okay, what about the master? Waiting for your return in the back room. Chen pulled Kushina and Makoto and said with a smile, you two talk for a while, I'll go to the head of the house. Makoto nodded obediently, and held Kushina to talk while Kushina first arrived in the Uchiha tribe, but it was fortunate that Makoto was with him, so Kushina didn't panic. Chen found Uchiha Ming, and the two talked about the current situation. Uchiha Ming appreciated Chen's behavior very much, and when he heard that Chen brought Kushina back, he even joked a few times. Since that's the case, Chen, your wedding is scheduled for next month. It's a bit absurd that you and Kushina and Makoto are both at the same time. It's better to keep a low profile as much as possible. Uchiha grinned. No problem. Chen's intention was the same. Chen and Uchiha Ming discussed before returning to the room. Chen's room was right next to Makoto's room, and when he heard Kushina and Makoto chattering, Chen felt happy. You two are not at all very lively. Chen Yao said with emotion. Makoto snorted lightly. Kushina was telling me about her leaving the Uzumaki clan just now, that Danzo is really hateful. Fortunately, you taught him a lesson. I will teach him a lesson when I see him next time. Makoto's righteous indignation made Chen Ren laugh, but he also smiled and said, okay. Kushina rolled her eyes. Really, Makoto is making a fool of yourself. Are you making a fool of yourself too? You rest early, the matter is over, everything is with me, and our day is set. I will officially marry you next month, just be a beautiful bride obediently. Kushina and Makoto were stunned when they heard that they were going to get married next month. Their eyes widened slightly as they looked at Chen, and then their faces were ashamed of Yuhi. Makoto spat lightly. Bad man, who wants to marry you? Don't be duplicitous. Huh. Kushina and Makoto looked at him sideways as if they were rehearsing, their movements neatly like sisters. Rang Chen's eyes lit up even more. Get some rest early. Chen ordered. Kushina and Makoto nodded obediently, especially Kushina, she was exhausted today. The next day is still busy. Chen not only has to prepare for the wedding, but also prepares to seal Kyubi, Nine Tails. There are too many things, and they cannot be delayed. Chen did not sleep, but communicated with the Six Paths Immortal in the ring. After this fight with Danzo, Chen's pupil strength has improved again, and Susanoo has reached a mature body, so Chen also has something to ask the old Six Paths for advice. Old man, come out and talk. Stinky boy, don't you know it's rude to disturb an old man's sleep in the middle of the night? The old man of Six Paths said angrily. Come less, with your strength, why would you care about this little sleep? Old man, I found that the pupil strength has increased, and the ability of Mangekyo Sharingan should also become stronger. My right eye is Amaterasu, and my left eye controls gravity. I don't know how far I can reach it now. Chen asked. Chen Tong's strength increases, Mangekyo Sharingan's ability also increases accordingly. Amaterasu is okay to say, but the increase in gravity control is huge. Well, your pupil strength has indeed become stronger, and now your left eye ability has been enhanced. The old man from Six Paths certainly knew Sharingan very well. He said, I told you once that your left eye's ability is very powerful and cannot be used easily, otherwise there will be strong side effects. But now it seems that you have practiced yin and yang escape, and the harmony of yin and yang has greatly reduced the burden on your body. So the power of your left eye can also be improved, said the old man of Six Paths. Mangekyo's left eye begging to automatically read the underlined version of the novel. Recommend a friend's book. This chapter is free. Recommend, Magic of Hokage. A magician is reborn in Hokage. The death of the previous life has opened the magic eye of death in this life, with the 9 supreme magic, projection, element, alchemy, summoning, space, time, darkness, light, and forbidden undead magic. As long as it is alive, even if it is a god, I will kill it for you. This chapter is free, and interested children's shoes can look at. Recommend, score. 242. The pupil power of the left eye becomes stronger, the field of gravity. My left eye Mangekyo. Chen was slightly puzzled, and communicated with the old man Six Paths. Isn't the ability of my left eye just to control gravity, is there any other function? Chen knew that the ability of his Mangekyo's left eye was to control gravity, and the power was extraordinary, not inferior to Kamui, or even better. With Chen's full strength, he can even instantly kill his opponent. Of course, this kind of use consumes a lot of pupil power. The ability of your left eye is of course only controlling gravity, but even if you look at controlling gravity, there are many uses. You are only using the basics now. Didn't I once tell you that this ability can be used to ultimate, and it can even tear space easily? The old man of Six Paths said angrily. Only then did Chen understand that it seemed that the ability of the left eye was not simple. Chen can feel that after his pupil strength has improved, he has more control over Mangekyo's abilities. Now that Chen's pupil power is very strong, even in the face of an opponent of Danzo's level, he will not be afraid at all. Your Mangekyo's left eye should be able to create a domain space within a range of about 20 meters around it, and control the gravity changes of people or objects in the space. Six Paths old man reminded. Gravity field. Chen Yi was stunned. Originally Chen could only control the gravity changes of objects or people in the viewpoint, but now it seems that the scope and power of this ability have been greatly enhanced. Boy, your description is very appropriate. That's right, it's true. It's the realm of gravity. The old man of Six Paths nodded, showing appreciation. Unlike the ability of your right eye Amaterasu, the gravity ability of your left eye can be continuously enhanced with the increase of your pupil power. In other words, it's the ability to grow, and you should know how precious that ability is. If this ability to control gravity grows to the end, it may not only be able to tear space, but even cause space to collapse, causing terrible destructive power. The old Six Paths explained it simply. Chen understood. Space collapsed. Isn't that the process of black hole formation? Chen was stunned for a while, although he was a little strange about Mangekyo's last ability, but he also knew that it was indeed a terrifying ability. It's no wonder that the Six Paths sage at the time was shocked. I'll try the ability of my left eye first. Chen became curious and said with a smile. Well, the old man also stopped by to take a look. The Six Paths fairies are equally curious. Chen's eyes became a piece of blood. Yuhi, Mangekyo Sharingan showed. The three-lobed meniscus appeared in Chen's eyes, exactly what Chen Sharingan looked like. Gravity control. Chen used the ability of his left eye, only to see that the air around him seemed to be pulled by something, and it began to collapse in one direction, and the 4 gravitational forces could be controlled by Chen at will. Under such circumstances, if the enemy enters this gravity and is exerted by Chen, he will definitely move slowly and be at a great disadvantage. On the other hand, Chen, in the state of gravity, is definitely in a very strong state. After using the heavy field for a while, Chen felt the fatigue of his eyes and immediately cancelled the gravity field. The burden on the eyes is very heavy. If I hadn't practiced Yangdun, I'm afraid my eyes would have been blind. Chen murmured. Although Chen does not use Mangekyo Sharingan frequently, the frequency is not low. If other people use Mangekyo in this way without masculinity, even if the eyes are not blind, they are at least on the verge of blindness. Fortunately, Chen has Yangdun, which can prevent this side effect. Apart from the pain in the eyes, Chen's vision was not lost. HMPH, of course, the old man's Yangdun is not a joke, but it is precisely because you often use Mangekyo Sharingan that the progress of Yangdun practice will be slow. The old man of 6 paths was dissatisfied. Chenpai pouted. Let us come, Yangdun would have been difficult to cultivate. The combination of Sharingan and Yangdun takes a long time to evolve. Madara in the original book got Senjuhashirama's cells during the Battle of the End Valley, but she opened her eyes just before she died. This is proof. Of course, Chen has the guidance of the 6 paths fairy, so the time consumption is definitely not that exaggerated. Chen bickered with the old man's 6 paths, and after trying Mangekyo's left eye ability, Chen was still very satisfied. After studying the power of his left eye for a while, Chen Yi finally fell asleep. Early the next morning, Chen finally got up, but saw that Kushina and Makoto had woken up early, and there was a night of steaming ramen beside Chen, which was very delicious. After Chen finished washing up, he ate the ramen like a storm, and then found Kushina and Makoto. Kushina and Makoto were practicing ninjutsu in the yard. When they saw Chen coming, the 2 women smiled together, and when they arrived at Chen's side. Did you sleep well yesterday? Chen embraced Kushina's slender waist and asked softly. Well, with Makoto with me, I'm not alone. Kushina smiled softly and said softly. Chen tapped the tip of her nose. I will accompany you in the future. Well. Kushina's smile softened. Makoto was dissatisfied, and hummed, no, I'll be jealous if you keep doing this. Makoto's wrinkled nose eyes are also very cute. Ah, Makoto, how can you eat my vinegar? Kushina said quickly. Makoto laughed and said, no, I'm jealous that this guy stole my Kushina. Makoto smiled mischievously. Kushina is mine, brother Chen, you are not allowed to rob it. Chen looked amused, Kushina looked at Makoto and then at Chen, and her heart was also warm. Sighed even more in her heart, this was really good, and she didn't regret the choice at all this time. Regardless of Makoto's friendship with her, or the relationship between Chen and her, it's the same as before. 243 Susanoo's collaborative ninjutsu. Ask for an automatic. After chatting with Kushina and Makoto for a while, Chen began to prepare a lot of things. The matter of Kushina was resolved, but because of this, he and Danzo became enemies completely. Although Tatsu didn't care, he always had to guard against Danzo. Danzo is not only strong, but also a pure conspiracy. If you become an enemy with such a person, of course you must always be careful. What's more, now that Danzo seems to be getting closer and closer to Orochimaru, it's even more worthy of his vigilance. In addition, Chen has to prepare for the wedding with Kushina and Makoto. There is also the matter of resealing Kyuubi, 9 Tails, which also requires Chen's participation. Anyway, there's a lot going on. Chen and the head of the family, Uchiha Ming, discussed some specific matters about the wedding, and finally got free time and began to practice ninjutsu. Although Chen's talent is very good, but he also knows the truth that if you don't advance, you will retreat, so the practice of ninjutsu has never fallen, not to mention the best teacher of 6 paths immortal. Old man, what is my current strength? Chen asked. If you don't use Mangekyo Sharingan, it's a junior cage level. If you use Mangekyo or Susanoo, even 3 generations of Hokage can fight, but the loss will be very large. The 6 paths immortal simply analyzed. Of course, if you have the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, then it's not a problem. Chen shrugged. Now my killer is Susanoo, but Susanoo consumes too much pupil power. I'm going to study some ninjutsu with Susanoo, so that the two can be combined to enhance Susanoo's power. Chen's Susanoo has been able to combine Susanoo with Amaterasu after opening the mature body. The power is amazing, but the consumption of pupil power of Susanoo and Amaterasu is really not ordinary. Chen can't maintain this state for too long. So Chen thought of other ways to increase the power of Susanoo, that is to develop other ninjutsu that cooperates with Susanoo. For example, in the original work, Kakashi can combine with Susanoo to use Kamui Shuriken, and Sasuke can use Susanoo's Chidori. Madara, not to mention, can even summon meteorites with Susanoo's hand seal. If Chen also cooperated with Susanoo and used ninjutsu, it would be so powerful that even Chen himself couldn't help but want to try it. Ninjutsu with Susanoo. Immortal Six Paths instantly understood Chen's intention, and sighed that Chen's creativity was indeed extraordinary. It's worth a try, it's worth trying. The Six Paths old man agreed. Very well, I'll use ninjutsu, old man, watch the results. Chen rode. Got it. Chen then enthusiastically researched and developed ninjutsu. Susanoo is undoubtedly the strongest power that Mangekyo Sharingan has obtained, not to mention that even the Six Paths Immortal said that Chen's Susanoo is very special, and Dalian's Six Paths is shocked by its potential, so Chen intends to make good use of it. Chen immediately began to concentrate on developing ninjutsu that can work with Susanoo. First of all, the easiest to work with Susanoo is, of course, Chien. Bird. Sasuke also used this trick in the original work. Using Chidori in the state of Susanoo will make Chidori become very huge, multiplied in power, and even able to show several times of improvement. Definitely not inferior to the later Rasenshuriken. Chidori is a ninjutsu that Chen is familiar with, and Chen still used it often when Jonin was strong, but after Mangekyo was turned on, Chidori was a bit outdated. But with Susanoo of course it's completely different. Chen tried to combine Susanoo and Chidori, and unexpectedly found that the combination of the two was easier and smoother than expected, and he quickly used it. In the back mountain of the Uchiha tribe, Chen has already tried Susanoo. Susanoo, Chidori. The golden Susanoo was used, and in Susanoo's palm, a ball of thunder radiated and exploded, and the thunder exploded, scorching all the surrounding area, and the range and attack power were first class. Is not inferior to Rasenshuriken at all, and has the defensive power of Susanoo, so Chen is very satisfied. I only saw that under Chidori, the surrounding area was a mess of dozens of meters, full of electric burnt smell, extremely pungent. Trees and grasses were utterly destroyed by Chen. Great. The Six Paths Immortal praised. This ninjutsu is very powerful with Susanoo, and unexpectedly it works well with Susanoo. It's far from enough, just this level of Raiden Thunder style too weak. Chen rode. Boy, I said you were too greedy, you really don't have enough people to swallow an elephant. The old man of Six Paths said angrily, this kid is really a little monster, and even this is not satisfied. But think about it, Susanoo Chidori's power is only comparable to Rasenshuriken, so how can Tatsu be satisfied? Suddenly, Chen's eyes lit up slightly, as if thinking of something. Old man, you said I let Susanoo and Kirin combine, what would happen? Susanoo, Kirin. This is the ninjutsu that Chen thought of. Kirin is a mysterious ninjutsu called Raiden Thunder style, and the power is very strong, almost unavoidable. It was also one of Chen's biggest killer moves before. If you can combine Susanoo with Kirin, the resulting power will be far greater than Susanoo's Chidori. Susanoo's Kirin. The Six Paths old man was also deeply impressed by Kirin's ninjutsu, and was immediately taken aback by Chen's imagination. This guy really dared to think. You guy, last time you wanted to combine Yangdun and Amaterasu, and this time you're going to make Susanoo and Kirin's fusion ninjutsu, really? The Six Paths Immortal shook his head, feeling a little powerless towards Chen. But Susanoo Kirin, it's exciting to think about it. I decided to give it a try. I think the difficulty of combining with Amaterasu and Yongdun is different. My Susanoo seems to be very compatible with Raiden, Thunder style, maybe it will be successful. Chen Road. Thanks to the cat for eating fish and the reward of the dragon. I also recommend a book, Fighting in the World of Martial Arts. If you are interested, you can read it. 244 Susanoo, Kirin. The Six Paths old man was completely taken aback by Chen's creativity. Gorgeous, think about it carefully, but it's also very promising. After all, Susanoo can already cooperate with ninjutsu. The fusion of Yongdun and Amaterasu that Chen had considered before was indeed a bit difficult, but Susanoo and Kirin may really have a bright future. Chen is an uncompromising doer. Grandpa Mao once said that practice is the only criterion for testing truth. So Chen performed well. Kirin has one of the biggest limitations, that is, the need for thunderclouds, and only when there are thunderclouds and lightning in the sky can he use the thunder and lightning of nature for his own use. Chen whispered. The old man of Six Paths nodded. So the most difficult part of this technique is to create thunderclouds, and how to use Susanoo to guide thunderbolts. Well, yes, it is. Chen also agrees. The old man of Six Paths sighed with emotion. Boy, you seem to have really discovered something amazing. I can foresee that once this ninjutsu is developed, it will be the biggest killer. Unfortunately, there is a problem, that is Kirin, this ninjutsu itself has too many limitations. Let's try it first. It's not easy to develop ninjutsu, let alone the combination between Kirin and Susanoo. Chen was in high spirits. Ninjutsu is ever-changing, and each combination of different ninjutsu will bring absolutely different power. Kirin is undoubtedly the strongest Raiden, Thunder style, Tatsu has ever come into contact with. His attack power is self-evident, and he is almost too fast to evade, so his power is extremely powerful. As for Susanoo, it has both attack and defense, both absolute defense and powerful attack. Combining the two, the power is unimaginable. In the following time, Chen concentrated on research and devoted himself to the study of Susanoo Kirin, which is different from the fusion of Yongdun and Amaterasu. This time Chen seems to have grasped some key points, and Chen's Susanoo also seems to be easy to combine with Raiden, Thunder style. With the experience of Susanoo Chidori before, Chen's progress is very fast. Of course, even if the progress is fast, it is not easy to develop this kind of ninjutsu. Fortunately, with the guidance of the old man Six Paths, Chen Zhang tried the technique several times, and finally figured out the clue after constant research. This period of time, Chengdu was in the back mountain of the clan, concentrating on practicing and developing this ninjutsu. And Makoto and Kushina know Chen's hard work, and they both take good care of Chen, and they cook all kinds of food to reward Chen, which makes Chen feel extremely comfortable. After nearly a month, Chen finally basically completed this ninjutsu, barely able to become a master. Huh, old man, this time has been really hard. I didn't expect this technique to be so difficult, but luckily it was finally developed. Chen sighed lightly, and finally understood the difficulty of developing ninjutsu. Chen also silently praised the second-generation Hokage and these two great scientists. Both of them are experts in the development of ninjutsu. It's really not easy. No wonder Orochimaru is so obsessed with himself, even Tatsuya. God, coupled with the guidance of Six Paths Sage, it takes so long to develop ninjutsu, let alone Maru. The lifespan of a person is not enough to learn all the master's ninjutsu. A mortal body, you must get it. Chen secretly said. The old man of Six Paths said angrily, what do you say? The old man has been harassed by you this month, and he has never slept well. Don't call me from today, I want to rest. It's really not at all. Knowing to respect the old and love the young, they treat me like a slave. Ah, okay. The hard work of the Six Paths old man during this time. However, the development of Susanoo Kirin is finally completed, which is also a great joy. Chen couldn't stop smiling. Susanoo Kirin, finally developed. The power of this ninjutsu is even beyond Chen's own imagination, and it also amazes the Six Paths Immortal. Mentioning Susanoo Kirin, the Six Paths Immortal sighed softly and said, "Boy, this ninjutsu really surprised the old man, you actually finished it. Although it still has many limitations, its power is very terrifying. After having this technique, you also have the greatest trump card." Chen smiled and nodded. Like Kirin, Susanoo Kirin can only be released under the influence of weather and environment, but the power makes Six Paths Immortals shocked. So Immortal Six Paths is also a little worried. This ninjutsu cannot be used often. One is too powerful, and the other is very expensive, so use it as your trump card. "Don't worry, I have a sense." Chen smiled. Susanoo Kirin was finally developed, and Chen also had a whole card. Just thinking about it, when the meteorites that Madara and Susanoo cooperate with will be developed, then it will be a cow. Chen completed the development of ninjutsu, and the rest of the time was devoted to another matter. Time is getting closer and closer to the big wedding of Chen, Kushina and Makoto. Yes, I have known Kushina and Makoto for so long, and even Kushina keeps leaving the Uzumaki family for Chen, and the relationship between Chen and the two women is getting better and better. Under such circumstances, Chen's wedding date is getting closer and closer. Married Kushina and Makoto at the same time this time, so that outsiders would not know. This wedding was not too publicized, and was only known to those within the Uchiha clan. Seeing that the wedding day is approaching 10:10, the Uchiha tribe is also decorated with lanterns, wearing yuhi and hanging green everywhere, which is also particularly eye-catching. Fortunately, the Uchiha clan is very closed, and ordinary outsiders can't get in, so not many people really know about Chen's marriage. As 10:10's wedding is approaching, Chen is getting busier and busier, and according to custom, the two brides, Kushina and Makoto, have been arranged to another place long ago. They have not seen Chen for several days, but Chen Wei misses them. Of two girls. Before I knew it, the date finally came. 245 wedding. Please, reward. Before I knew it, the time finally approached this day, the day of Chen's wedding. In the Uchiha tribe, there are lanterns and lanterns everywhere, wearing yuhi and hanging green, just like having the grandest festival. During the festival, it is very exciting. Even all the members of the Uchiha clan were full of joy and smiles, wishing Chen sincere blessings. For Uchiha's clan, Chen is completely the great hero of the clan. The Uchiha clan has been in glory since the establishment of Konoha village, and every clan has a high sense of pride. And Chen's performance on the battlefield can be called legendary, which makes the clansmen even more respect for Chen. With Chen Neng as the deputy chief, none of these clansmen have any doubts. The clan people in the clan were extremely festive, and even many juniors in the clan were begging for happy money from Chen Lai, looking lively and lively. Among the descendants of the Uchiha clan, Chen met Obito and Shisui. Uchiha Shisui is undoubtedly the genius of the Uchiha clan, and Obito can only be regarded as the top talent in the clan. During this period of time, Chen and these two people got along well. These two are extraordinary, and they are one of the most important characters in the original plot. Brother Chen, congratulations on getting married. Congratulations, congratulations. Both Uchiha, Shisui and Obito congratulated Chen, smiling and liking. Of these two guys, now Uchiha Shisui and Obito are also 5 or 6 years old. They are very cute. Ah, it hurts. Being knocked on the head by Chen, Obito kept complaining, "Brother Chen, I will be 6 years old next year, and I am no longer a 4 or 5-year-old child. You can't knock me on the head again." Chen couldn't help but smile, deliberately knocked Obito's head again, and bullied this guy for a while. It's really interesting to think about. What about the big one in the later period of the original work? What about the first 10 Tails person Jinchuriki column force? It's not the same now. I beat him obediently. Compared to Obito, Shisui is much heavier. He is indeed a genius with a calm personality. At a young age, his strength is already good. Chen and Obito, Shisui played for a while, and then prepared seriously. In fact, in the so-called wedding preparations, most of the things are done by the servants. The only thing Chen needs is waiting for the bride. Come and talk to the guests. This time the wedding is only within the family. So there were almost no guests. The 3 generations of Hokage, Tsunade and others sent gifts, but none of them attended, especially Tsunade. I was afraid that my heart was still a little sour. Chen also knew Tsunade's mood, so he could only take time to accompany Tsunade for a whole day before the engagement, which made Tsunade let him go. Really don't care. What a generous woman, she is always jealous at such moments. The wedding started gradually, and the witnesses of this wedding were of course the head of the house Uchiha Ming and the 3 elders of the Uchiha clan. The hall was filled with members of the Uchiha clan, with congratulations and smiles on everyone's faces. Immediately after, Uchiha Ming announced the start of the wedding. Chen, Kushina, and Makoto walked out from both sides respectively. This was the first time the 3 of them met. The wedding in the ninja world is relatively simple, there are not so many complicated etiquette. The only thing that makes Chen deeply disgusted, that is, for this wedding, Chen has not seen Kushina and Makoto for more than a week. It's really what Yi Chen wants to complain about the most. Before marriage, they are not allowed to meet each other. What the hell is this? Fortunately, Chen finally saw his bride now. For a time, the Uchiha people in the hall were all quiet. What 2 beautiful girls. Uchiha's clan members were quiet, and even looked at the 2 girls in shock, only to feel that there is no more beautiful scene than this moment. 2 stunning girls, one as warm as fire, the other as gentle as water, seems to be the most beautiful picture scroll. In addition, Chen himself is extremely handsome. Standing next to the 2, they seem to be a perfect match, which makes everyone hold their breath and look at the 3. Chen walked in front of Kushina and Makoto, and finally couldn't help but said, "You guys are so beautiful today." Both Kushina and Makoto smiled lightly, staring at Chen affectionately, their faces moist and happy. I announce that Uchiha Tatsu and Uzumaki Kushina, Uchiha Makoto, are officially married. Uchiha on the stage laughed. The people in the audience just woke up like a dream, and they reacted immediately, cheering and applauding in unison, and the audience suddenly remembered the bursts of applause and cheers, which flowed continuously and lasted for a long time. 246 blossoms. Chen pulled Kushina and Makoto, and also prepared to go back to the room. In the hall, you can also hear the celebratory voices of the Uchiha people, which is extremely lively. Chen is now the deputy chief of the Uchiha clan, and has his own independent courtyard, and Uchiha Ming specially prepared a marriage room for Chen's newlyweds, which is fully equipped. It's beautiful. Kushina looked up and down the wedding room, only to see that the decoration was gorgeous and exquisite, meticulous and comfortable, and the 2 girls fell in love at once. And Makoto nodded slightly, his eyes showing joy, and even his nervousness dissipated a lot. You understand. Thanks for the ecstatic reward. Please read the underlined version of the novel automatically. 247 fairy days of Chen's wedding was only spread among the Uchiha clan. In addition, except for the high-level Konoha such as the 3 generations of Hokage, it is little known. Danzo and Orochimaru were very quiet for a while, not doing anything, which made Chen feel unusual. It seems that Orochimaru and Danzo have really come together in an alliance, and it is estimated that these 2 have been secretly discussing something during this time. This is also what Chen expected. Chen is also afraid of the actions of these 2 people, so he is also paying attention to it secretly. Apart from that, Chen's period of time can be said to be extremely smooth, and there is almost no obstacle at all. Kushina and Makoto became his wives, the pupil strength also improved, and the development of Akatsuki went smoothly, everything was proceeding in an orderly manner according to Tatsu's plan. For Chen, this period of time can be said to be the most comfortable period of time he has lived since he crossed over. Don't even give it to a fairy. But during this time, a special day is coming. The first generation of Kyuubi, Ninetales, Jinchuriki, column force Uzumaki Mito's body is getting worse, and will eventually reach the edge of running out of oil, and the reseal of Kyuubi, Ninetales, is imminent. On this day, Minato came to the door in person, rushed to find Chen, looked anxious, and hurriedly said, "Chen, things have begun, Uzumaki Mito-sama may not be able to hold on, Kyuubi, Ninetales, needs to be resealed, and the 3 generations of adults I'm here to help you." Chen also had a tight expression on his face. The seal of Kyuubi, Ninetales, is finally about to begin. Chen is also looking forward to it for a long time. Maybe I can take this opportunity to face Kyuubi, Ninetales directly. Those who use notebooks to code words, originally thought of breaking out, and feel depressed, first make sure to guarantee the 3 shifts every day. 248 Chakra of Kyuubi, Ninetales, the appearance of Kyuubi, Ninetales. Hearing Minato's words, Chen immediately moved, his figure flashed to Minato's side, and said solemnly, "Minato, let's go to the Uzumaki clan." Good. Minato also nodded again and again. Once Uzumaki Mito dies, then the next Kyuubi, Ninetales person, Jinchuriki column, will be Uzumaki Emi, so Minato is very concerned about this. Kushina was slightly surprised when she saw Tatsu and Minato's actions, and immediately understood that Uzumaki Mito's life was about to end. Uzumaki Mito took care of her on weekdays. Kushina's eyes flashed brightly in Chunin. She wanted to go back to the Uzumaki clan to see, but suddenly remembered that she was now deprived of her Uzumaki clan identity, which is even more light. Sigh lightly. "Chen." Kushina looked at Chen and murmured. Chen gently understood Kushina's mood at the moment, and said softly, "Be here and wait for me to come back." Well. Kushina nodded lightly. Separated from Kushina and went to the Uzumaki clan with Minato. The clan of the Uzumaki clan. At this time, there were Anbu everywhere at the gate of the Uzumaki clan, and these Anbu were in full force and guarded, as if something major was happening. The replacement of Kyuubi, Ninetales, Jinchuriki, column force, and the seal are a big deal. A little carelessness will put Konoha in crisis, so it is so strict. The Anbu was led by White Fang, and more than 30 Anbu surrounded the Uzumaki clan to prevent outsiders from entering. These Anbu saw Chen and Minato coming. They all saluted, "Lord Chen." Chen's position in Anbu is only under White Fang, but his prestige is not inferior to White Fang. These Anbu have great respect for Chen, and some even fought with Chen on the battlefield. For Chen, that is complete worship. Well, everyone worked hard. Chen and these Anbu said a few words, then no longer wasted time, went directly to the backyard of the Uzumaki tribe. This is the room where Uzumaki Mito was. Entered the backyard, Chen felt a powerful chakra rising into the sky. This chakra is the largest chakra that Chen has ever seen, absolutely not one of them. Even the chakra of Chen's mature Susanoo is inferior to it. I am afraid that only the Susanoo of the completed body can match it. Chakra contains extremely evil power, as well as a breathtaking aura, which makes people feel uneasy, and chakra is extremely unknown. This chakra lingered and hovered over the Uzumaki family, and the chakra appeared orange, even close to Yuhi color, as if it were real. Of this chakra, the weak ninja will even be scared to flinch, and even lose the consciousness of fighting. This is the chakra of Kyuubi, Ninetales. It was also the first time that Minato saw Kyuubi, Ninetales chakra, and he was a little stunned and couldn't help but whisper. "Well, this is the chakra of Kyuubi, Ninetales." Chen nodded. Now he is much more calm, but his expression is also very dignified. At this moment, the 6 people in the Chen ring were also awakened from their deep sleep. Yes, this is Kyuubi, Ninetales. Boy, what's going on? How is Kurama's chakra here? Chen did not expect to live. Course, the Old Man Six Paths immediately explained the current situation briefly with the Old Man Six Paths, and the Old Man Six Paths realized that Byakugan was the Jinchuriki column force of the Konoha village in the tale. Kurama is the most powerful among the 9-tailed beasts, and the character is the most difficult to get along with. This time Konoha wants to seal it. I am afraid it will not go well. The old Six Paths sighed. Chen shrugged. Old man, don't sigh. The seal of Kyuubi, Nine Tails, is a big deal. I want to help. Owes 3 generations to him because of Kushina, and Chen also wanted to use this opportunity to meet Kyuubi, Nine Tails, so he agreed to help. Chen and Minato arrived in the backyard. They saw that there were only 5 people in the backyard. They were the 2 people sealed by Kyuubi, Nine Tails, this time, Jinchuriki Column Force, Uzumaki Mito, Uzumaki Emi. There are 3 generations of Hokage, and Uzumaki Shikawa, the elder of the Uzumaki clan who had a relationship last time, and the last one is Tsunade. Chen, you are here. Seeing Chen, the 3rd generation finally breathed a sigh of relief. Kyuubi, Nine Tails, is too strong, it needs many people to suppress it, and we need a few of us to work together. I understand. 3 generations nodded and simply divided the labor. The elder Uzumaki Sakawa is the most grand master of the Uzumaki family except Mito, and he will help us seal Kyuubi, Nine Tails. Tsunade was in charge of the medical aid, and the 2 of us and Minato were in charge of suppressing the chakra of Kyuubi, Nine Tails. Okay, no problem. Chen and Minato looked at each other and nodded. Uzumaki Mito on the side was now pale, sweat dripping from his body, and pursed his lips, unable to utter a word. His expression was very painful. And Tsunade uses medical ninjutsu to help Uzumaki Mito heal, so as to maintain her life. If it wasn't for Tsunade here, I'm afraid Uzumaki Mito would already be in trouble. The people have arrived, start to seal Kyuubi, Nine Tails. 3 generations said loudly. Chen and the others no longer hesitated and acted quickly. At the same time, Uzumaki Mito screamed. And Kyuubi, Nine Tails, huge chakra leaked out. Tails has the possibility of breaking the seal at any time. The powerful orange chakra rose into the sky. Chen and Sandai both looked solemn and began to use chakra to suppress Kyuubi, Nine Tails' chakra. And Uzumaki Shichuan is in charge of the seal of Kyuubi, Nine Tails. He is the most grand master of seal art in the Uzumaki family. Everything is ready and it is proceeding in an orderly manner. The chakra of Kyuubi, Nine Tails, kept running rampant, while Tatsu and Sandai, Minato tried to suppress it. Uzumaki Shikawa forged a complex ninjutsu seal and began to prepare for the seal. Little nervous is Uzumaki Emi, who is the next Jinchuriki Column Force. She has no masters, but fortunately, Minato is here, which makes her feel a little more at ease. Roar. A roar sounded like the voice of a fox, and along with this huge roar, there were also human voices. Uzumaki Mito, you are finally dying, and I will get out of trouble. Kyuubi, Nine Tails. Chen et al. Are all startled. This is the voice of Kyuubi, Nine Tails. Kyuubi, Nine Tails, finally appeared. Please Automatic Watermelon, thank you for reading the underlined version of the novel. Please download Feifei Lu's novel. 249 Shocked Kyuubi, Nine Tails. On Uzumaki Mito gathered. The orange chakras were visible to the naked eye, and gradually formed the appearance of a fox in the sky, and it was Kyuubi, Nine Tails. Kyuubi, Nine Tails, finally appeared. Kyuubi, Nine Tails, appears in front of Chen, and although it is only made of chakra, it represents the will of Kyuubi, Nine Tails. What a strong chakra! Damn, are you suppressing my chakra? Kyuubi, Nine Tails, immediately felt that the situation was not good. Although Uzumaki Mito was dying and the seal was weakened, the seal was still controlling Kyuubi, Nine Tails plus Tatsu, Sandai and Minato. The 3 teamed up to temporarily suppress Kyuubi, Nine Tails. Damn! Kyuubi, Nine Tails, roared. Kyuubi, Nine Tails, you will still be sealed by us today. I will not let you endanger the village, for the sake of the ninja world. 3rd generation, the chakra around him also burst out, helping Uzumaki Mito suppress Kyuubi, Nine Tails. Although Kyuubi, Nine Tails, is strong, it is still in a sealed state, and Chen, Sandai, and Minato are all strong, especially Chen and Sandai. The 3 generations are not at this time. The 3 generations at the beginning of the original work, the current 3 generations are in their prime years. they can be called a golden age, and their strength is unfathomable. Damn humans, I'm going to tear you all to shreds, and when I go out, I'll destroy this village. Damn Uchiha Madara, damn Senju Hashirama, damn Uzumaki Nito. Kyuubi, Ninetales cursed, chanting a series of characters' names. Chen's heart moved. Uchiha Madara, Senju Hashirama, Uzumaki Nito, these three are all characters who have a great relationship with Kyuubi, Ninetales. Uchiha Madara confuses Kyuubi, Ninetales with Sharingan control, Senju Hashirama subdues Kyuubi, Ninetales, and Uzumaki Nito is the first Jinchuriki column force of Kyuubi, Ninetales. These are also the three people that Kyuubi, Ninetales, hates the most. 9. Kyuubi, Ninetales. Uzumaki Nito gasped and looked firmly at the chakra condensed by Kyuubi, Ninetales, in midair. You just accept your fate, you are destined to be sealed. Kyuubi, Ninetales, roared. Uzumaki Shikawa, get ready to seal Kyuubi, Ninetales. Head of the third generation, obviously suppressing Kyuubi, Ninetales was very exhausting, and he immediately reminded Uzumaki Shikawa. Yes. Uzumaki Shikawa agreed, and his hand seal is finally coming to an end. This is a rather complicated technique. Hand seal is very difficult, but it also represents the power of this sealing technique. 8 trigram seal of 4 elephants. Uzumaki Shikawa let out a low voice, and the chakra on his body also rose to the sky. Gradually, some kind of vision appeared on Uzumaki Emi's body. The clothes on her stomach gradually cracked, and 4 elephants appeared on her stomach. The combination of the seal and the 8 trigrams seal, the powerful force makes Chen do slightly surprised. The sealing technique of the Uzumaki family is indeed unique. The power of Kyuubi, Ninetales continued to be weakened by the sealing technique, and the voice of Kyuubi, Ninetales gradually became low and weak. At this time, Kyuubi, Ninetales was like being locked in a giant cage, unable to escape from it. Abominable, abominable. Kyuubi, Ninetales did everything in her power to resist, but she was always weak and unable to escape from the seal. When Chen saw this, he felt that the time was almost up. Chen came this time mainly to fool Ju. Came at the end. The role of Kyuubi, Ninetales is self-evident, although Chen is not interested in becoming a Kyuubi, Ninetales person Jinchuriki column force, but he is quite interested in Kyuubi, Ninetales, so I want to have a relationship with this talk to the strongest tailed beast. Regardless of Uchiha Madara or Kagaya Haim in the future, Chen will need Kyuubi, Ninetales to help. Old man, I want to communicate with Kyuubi, Ninetales. Is there any way to communicate with Kyuubi, Ninetales' spirit? Chen asked. Ninja can communicate with the spirit of the tailed beast, the most obvious being the human Jinchuriki column force. Chen wanted to take this opportunity to communicate with Kyuubi, Ninetales, so he asked the old man 6 paths if there was any way. The old man of 6 paths is a little strange. There is a way for you to communicate with Kyuubi, Ninetales. I can help you control your spiritual power and let you communicate with it for a while, but not much time. No problem, thank you. Chen rode. Although the old man of 6 paths is in a weak state, his mental strength is still there, so this level can still help. Immortal 6 paths helped Chen, and Chen suddenly felt that his spiritual power instantly became stronger, entering a wonderful state, as if entering a mysterious space. Chen came to another world. Pitch black all around, and in front of it was a huge cage, surrounded by iron bars, and inside was a fiery-colored Kyuubi, Ninetales fox. Who are you? How can you break into my spiritual world? Kyuubi, Ninetales was stunned when he saw the stranger, then roared. In the spiritual space of Kyuubi, Ninetales, it is a scene that Chen is very familiar with in the original work. There is only a huge cage with a seal on it. Kyuubi, Ninetales, is in the cage, roaring bursts. Kyuubi, Ninetales, Kurama right. Chen chuckled lightly. Kyuubi, Ninetales was even more surprised. Boy, who the hell are you to know my real name? Kyuubi, Ninetales, is known only by the other 8-tailed beasts, and the 6 paths sage who named it Kurama. Other than that, no one knows the name of QB Ninetails. QB Ninetails was stunned for a moment, and immediately remembered that the boy in front of him was one of several people who participated in sealing it just now, and said, "How do you know that my name still wants to seal me human? After I get out of the seal, I will definitely all tear you apart." Chen Qing snorted. "Kurama, you are still worried about your own situation. I would like to release you from the seal, but unfortunately the time has not come. You will help me." QB Ninetails was taken aback for a moment, as if he had heard something incredible. "It was not a problem to help you once, by the way, but now is not the time." Chen looked at QB lightly. Ninetails. QB Ninetails finally regained his composure. "HMPH, you humans talk nicely, but your actions are despicable, extremely. You kid probably isn't a good thing. I can feel a terrifying aura about you. Chakra, you should be a member of the Uchiha family, so similar to Uchiha Madara back then." QB Ninetails also has extraordinary perception, and gradually perceives the Sharingan and chakra of the Uchiha clan. But after a while, QB Ninetails felt even more startled, and said in shock, "No, there is another aura on you, the aura of the Six Paths Immortal." QB Ninetails' tone is full of shock. 250 God turning and God unfolding. As the strongest tailed beast, QB Ninetails has an extraordinary perception ability, not only perceiving the chakra of the Uchiha clan on Chen, but also the Six Paths Immortal aura on Chen. QB Ninetails looked at Chen in shock, a pair of beast eyes filled with humanized shock, and the original hostility to Chen was also eliminated by most of it. Instead, he became more and more curious about this man. What's going on? It's totally abnormal for this human being to have the aura of the Six Paths Immortal, and he also knows his name. QB Ninetails, shaking his head slightly, thinking to himself, Duchen's identity is full of doubt and curiosity. "I didn't expect to be found by you, QB Ninetails." Chen is not surprised. It is normal for QB Ninetails to find the aura of the Six Paths Immortal on his body, and it is estimated that only the tailed beasts can perceive the aura of the Six Paths Immortal in him. After all, the tailed beasts have been raised by the Six Paths Immortals since childhood. Except for the old man of Six Paths, these tailed beasts do not have any close people. The Six Paths Immortal is also a unique existence in the hearts of these tailed beasts. "Human, who are you?" QB Ninetails stood up straight. A tall body of several tens of meters appeared in front of Chen, and Chen looked at each other across the iron fence, and QB Ninetails' pair of yuhi-colored beast eyes were even tighter. Staring at Chen. "Let me introduce myself briefly. My name is Uchiha Chen, the current deputy chief of the Konoha Uchiha clan." Chen looked at QB Ninetails lightly. "Kurama, you won't be able to escape the seal this time, but if there is a chance, I will make you free again." QB Ninetails is powerful, and Chen's relationship with it will help him in the future. As for the Jinchuriki column power of becoming a QB Ninetails person, Chen never thought about it at all. After all, becoming a QB Ninetails person Jinchuriki column power has many limitations, and even the tailed beast will die if it is pulled away. The most important thing is that the power obtained by QB Ninetails is not his own power, and Chen does not like it. Freedom restored. QB Ninetails looked at Chen in astonishment. She could feel that Chen's words came from her sincerity, and the person in front of her seemed to be really different from those human beings. Chen smiled lightly. QB Ninetails had a humanized expression on his face, wagging his tail at the same time, thoughtfully, and then hummed after a while. "Those who sealed me, each has a powerful power. You want to let me go? I'm afraid it may not be out of the seal, Chen knows that this guy QB Ninetails has a strong Tsunere attribute, and it seems to be the case now. It seems that if QB Ninetails is not allowed to see his own power, QB Ninetails may not be convinced. Chen's eyes became a piece of blood yuhi, chakra showed, 3 Tomo's Sharingan changed, became Mangekyo Sharingan. The 3-lobed meniscus of Mangekyo Sharingan appears, and the powerful force is convincing. QB Ninetales flashed in amazement. It turned out to be Wanwayan. You, like Uchiha Madara, actually turned on Mangekyo Sharingan. QB Ninetales can feel the powerful pupil power, which is controlled by the pupil power of Uchiha Madara, so he knows the terrible power. At the same time, QB Ninetales also felt that there is a power in Chen. That power is not inferior to Mangekyo's writing. The pupil power of the Wheel Eye, like the warm sun, spreads all over the world, full of vitality, with the power of life. This power is very similar to the Senju Hashirama that QB Ninetales once saw. There is no doubt that this is the power of Yongdun in Chen. Although Chen does not have the exaggeration of Sage body now, but with Yongdun in his body, his physical recovery and strength have been greatly enhanced. As long as Chen Yongdun continues to practice, it will be a matter of time before he will have a Sage body comparable to Senju Hashirama. You have the power of Sharingan and immortal body, the power of Yin and Yang escape. QB Ninetales was extremely astonished, and was obviously extremely surprised by the power in Chen's body. He never thought that Chen would have two powers at the same time. The chakra and Sharingan of Yongdun. Even the original Uchiha Madara and Senju Hashirama only possessed one of these two powers, and did not combine the two powers at all. And this young man in front of him can actually possess these two powers at the same time. Not only that, but this young man can actually call out the name of QB Ninetales. Kurama, you believe me now. Chen chuckled, very satisfied with QB Ninetales' shock. You actually inherited the power of the Six Paths Immortal. Even the two sons of the Six Paths Immortal, Asura and Indra, only inherited the Six Paths Immortal's sage body and immortal eyes, but you have these two a kind of power. Although these two powers are not the strongest, their growth and potential are unparalleled. QB Ninetales seemed to have guessed a certain possibility, and looked at Chen with increasingly strange eyes. To legend, only the Six Paths Sage has Sage Body and Sage Eye, while his two sons Indra and Asura inherited the power of Sage Eye and Sage Body respectively. Chen has these two powers, plus Chen can call out the name of QB Ninetales, and a series of other things, so QB Ninetales has some kind of speculation. Hostility to Chen it also gradually disappeared, and instead revealed a thoughtful look. I have good eyesight, it is indeed as you said. I have the power of Yin and Yang to escape. Chen chuckled, looked at QB Ninetales thoughtfully, and said, don't worry, I have no intention of hurting you. On the contrary, maybe we can still cooperate in the future. QB Ninetales looked at Chen's beast eyes full of strangeness, and snorted softly, I know you have no intention of hurting me. You can have fairy eyes and sage body, and you can call my name, I already know your identity. A moment, QB Ninetales knew his identity and only listened to QB Ninetales humming proudly. Even if you hide it deeply, but you can't hide it from me, the yin and yang are already deep. You betrayed your identity, only Six Paths Immortal can be master in this world, and you know my name, you can't deceive me even more. Boy, you are the reincarnation of that old man of Six Paths Immortal. QB Ninetales stared at Chen and said firmly, with an expression that even though you hide deeply, I have already seen through everything. PFF'd. Chen almost sprayed on the ground, what kind of divine development is this? NT worry, there will be an outbreak this month. I'll take care of my body first, I'm recuperating from a severe cold. 251 QB Ninetales with a big brain hole. Chen is full of black lines. I didn't expect that QB Ninetales would open his mind and think that he was the reincarnation of the Six Paths Immortal, but it seems normal to think about it. In addition, Chen can call out the name of QB Ninetales, so when he was young, he had such a terrifying strength that QB Ninetales would mistakenly think that Chen was the reincarnation of the old Six Paths, which seemed to be normal. QB Ninetales looked at Chen very firmly, with an expression that I had seen through everything, leaving Chen Zhang speechless. However, QB Ninetales mistakenly thought that he was the reincarnation of the Six Paths Immortal is not a bad thing. Chen's heart moved slightly, and he made an unfathomable appearance. When QB Ninetails saw Chen's demeanor, he was sure that Chen was definitely the reincarnation of the Six Paths Immortal, and his senses of Chen were immediately closer. In the hearts of all tailed beasts, the Six Paths Immortals are revered and worshipped, and QB Ninetails is no exception. HMPH, I believe you, since you are the reincarnation of that stinky old man, you must be different from others. QB Ninetails hummed softly. For the Six Paths Immortals, QB Ninetails is absolutely trusted. After mistaking Chen to be the reincarnation of the Six Paths Immortal, QB Ninetails' hostility was instantly eliminated, and he lazily lay on the ground and said, I was sealed in the body of the human Jinchuriki column force this time, and I don't know. How many years will it be trapped? QB Ninetails knows his destiny, but is also a little lethargic. Chen Yi let QB Ninetails guess wrong about his identity, and smiled. Don't worry, it won't be too long, Kurama, your tailed beasts have different lifespans than humans, and decades are a snap for you. I hope so. QB Ninetails shook his nine tails, looked at Chen and said, you said that my time for freedom has not yet come, when will I be able to leave the seal? Chen shrugged, you'll know later, it's a secret. QB Ninetails snorted softly, very upset, but remembering Chen's identity, he still endured. Chen looked at him and laughed secretly. QB Ninetails really regarded him as the reincarnation of the Six Paths Immortal, and he was a little in awe of him. Chen communicated with QB Ninetails for a while, and Chen gradually got closer to the strongest tailed beast, because QB Ninetails mistakenly thought that Chen was the reincarnation of the Six Paths Immortal, and in addition to being imprisoned in Jinchuriki column for so many years, QB Ninetails has been very bored and lonely, so QB Ninetails communicated with Chen. Chen touched his chin, and now he has a relationship with QB Ninetails, and QB Ninetails has a very good relationship with him now. Perhaps according to this development, Chen will be able to sign a psychic contract with QB Ninetails in the future, just like Uchiha Madara in the original book can psychic QB Ninetails. QB Ninetails signing a psychic contract seems pretty good. And Chen is different from Uchiha Madara. That guy Uchiha Madara only knows how to use Sharingan to control QB Ninetails, and he is always worried about being attacked by QB Ninetails, but the relationship between Chen and QB Ninetails is getting more and more well. Instead, we can use the power of QB Ninetails. Thinking of this, Chen's heart is won. This time the harvest is really great. It's really interesting to have a good relationship with QB Ninetails. But unfortunately, the seal of QB Ninetails is over, and Chen and QB Ninetails cannot continue to talk in this spiritual space. It's almost time. The 3 generations of Hokage are going to seal me on that. Newcomer Jinchuriki column force little girl. QB Ninetails seemed to feel a change, stood up, and danced with Ninetails, showing the restlessness in his heart. Chen also looked solemn. Time is running out, it seems destined to be temporarily separated here. The seal of QB Ninetails is about to end, and QB Ninetails still cannot escape the fate of being sealed. HMPH, Uchiha-chan, after I go out, I have the opportunity to teach those guys a good lesson for me, and it can be regarded as helping me vent my anger. QB Ninetails hummed. Chen shrugged. No problem. Hey, although it's the reincarnation of that stinky old man, you are completely different from that old-fashioned stinky old man. It suits my taste very well. QB Ninetails swiped his tail, Tsunere said. Chen secretly said, of course I am different from that old man, I am much more handsome than that old man with horns on his head. QB Ninetails, you are also very easy to get along with, and it suits my taste very well. Chen shrugged. Huh. QB Ninetails raised his head, showing Tsunere's color again, and Chen smiled secretly again. At this time, Chen felt that the seal on QB Ninetails was gradually increasing, and the power of QB Ninetails was gradually declining. It seemed that the seal had reached its final stage. Next time we meet, It won't be too long. Chen felt the power of Kyuubi, Ninetales, disappear, and said, I hope so. Chen and Kyuubi, Ninetales, looked at each other for 2 seconds, and Chen's figure gradually dissipated in this spiritual space. Woo! After leaving the spiritual space of Kyuubi, Ninetales, Chen regained consciousness. At this time, only seeing the 4-sign 8 trigrams seal technique appearing on Uzumaki Emi's stomach, he knew that Kyuubi, Ninetales, had been sealed. Uzumaki Emi was sweating profusely and fainted. The 3 generations of Hokage, Minato, Uzumaki Zichuan and others are all in a weak state. Obviously, the chakra is consumed a lot, and even Chen's own chakra is consumed a lot. Finally, Tatsu looked at Uzumaki Mito who was on the side. I saw that Uzumaki Mito was already full of silver silk at this time, his face was deeply tired, and he was lying on the ground quietly, his eyes gradually lost their vigor. Chen is very clear that once the tailed beast is pulled out of the body of the human Jinchuriki, column force, then the fate of the human Jinchuriki, column force is death. In particular, Uzumaki Mito has already reached its limit, and with Kyuubi, Ninetales, being pulled away, Uzumaki Mito's life has come to an end. The woman who used to be Senju Hashirama's wife, the head of the Uzumaki clan, is finally about to die at this very moment. Uzumaki Mito slowly closed his eyes. Kyuubi, Ninetales, is finally sealed. 3 generations breathed a sigh of relief, looked at the dead Uzumaki Mito, and sighed, bury Mito well. Yes. Uzumaki Shikawa nodded solemnly. This time the seal of Kyuubi, Ninetales, is finally over, and Chen has also gained a lot from it. I would like to remind you of the 3 things in reading. 252 Ninja World's All-Star Lineup. The seal of Kyuubi, Ninetales, finally ended, Uzumaki Mito died, and Uzumaki Emi became the new Kyuubi, Ninetales person Jinchuriki, column force. Minato, stay with Emi. Chen patted Minato on the shoulder and said with a smile. Minato hugged Uzumaki Emi, draped her clothes over her body, nodded lightly, and said, I see, Chen, thank you for your help this time. Minato looked at Chen sincerely. Chen shook his head, it should be me thanking you. And Minato have always had friendship. Minato agreed to let Uzumaki Emi be the Jinchuriki, column force, and a large part of the reason is that he wants to fulfill Kushina and Tatsu. Minato smiled. If you really thank me, then practice ninjutsu with me more. Chen also smiled. Okay. Minato has shown signs of breaking through to cage level recently. After Master Hiraishin, Minato's strength has improved rapidly. Although it is still not as good as Chen, it is getting closer and closer to cage level. If Chen is going all out now, even a high-level cage-level powerhouse like the 3rd generation can fight, but it will consume too much pupil power. Chen and Sandai left the Uzumaki clan, and the surrounding vigilance and Anbu also all left, while White Fang went to Sandai Hokage's side, protecting Sandai closely. Chen returned to the courtyard of the Uchiha clan, sealed Kyuubi, Ninetales, and consumed a lot of chakra, and he was also a little tired. The same is true of the 6 Paths Immortals, who just helped Chen enter the spiritual world of Kyuubi, Ninetales, to communicate with Kyuubi, Ninetales, and also consumed a lot of his power. The old man of 6 Paths said, Boy, the old man goes to sleep first, don't send this old man again. Immortal 6 Paths lost her voice after speaking, causing Chen's mouth to twitch. Chen returned to the room and saw that both Kushina and Makoto were there. The 2 women seemed to be preparing to cook, and Kushina looked slightly sad, as if she was worried about something. Seeing Chen's return, Kushina and Makoto were both happy and looked at Chen with joyful expressions on their faces. You're back, you're tired, I'll give you a massage. Makoto took the initiative to ask Ying, and massaged Chen with a gentle face. On the other hand, Kushina was a little hesitant to speak, and then whispered after a while, Soon, Uzumaki Mito Patriarch she. Well, the seal of Kyuubi, Ninetales, is over, she passed away. Chen whispered. Kushina's eyes dimmed, and she forced a smile. Uzumaki Mito has always been very good to Kushina, so Kushina felt a little uncomfortable when he heard the news of Uzumaki Mito's death. Chen took the initiative to hold Kushina and Makoto, comforting the two girls. While Kushina cleared her heart and got out of her sad state. Both leaned on Chen and took the initiative to massage Chen. Chen looked happy. These days are really like, with Kushina and Makoto at home, and Tsunade outside. Even Conan came to Konoha a few days ago to meet Chen. Chen enjoys comfortably, squinting his eyes. Also took the initiative to massage Kushina and Makoto, but Chen, this guy massaged two big beauties, it is inevitable that some dishonest. This made Kushina Makoto so jealous that she slapped Chen with her pink fists, but to Chen it was just like scratching her itch. Chen and the two girls were playing around, and Kushina and Makoto were unfortunately suppressed by Chen in the end, making the two girls even more jealous. Playing around for a while, Chen's mood also relaxed a lot, but he was thinking about the next thing. The Seal of Kyuubi, 9 Tails, is over, and Konoha has also completely removed the hidden danger. The next thing is probably the 5 shadow talks that will affect the changes in the situation of the 5 countries. Long before this, Iwagakure's third-generation Tsuchikage 2-day scale Onoki proposed the 5 shadows talks, and the time was just recently, and it seems that the near-term 5 shadows talks are imperative. Of fire, water, wind, earth, and thunder are about to meet and start talks. Chen is also very much looking forward to this. After coming to the ninja world for such a long time, I have never seen the 5 shadows gather together. There is no doubt that this is definitely a feast that has caused a sensation in the entire ninja world, and maybe it will change the pattern of the entire ninja world. Therefore, Chen also attaches great importance to it and looks forward to it even more. The current 5 shadows are all absolute powerhouses, not to mention the 3 generations of Hokage, who is at his absolute peak in his prime, and the 3 generations of Grandmaster Jinten particle-style Tsuchikage 2 days flat Onoki, and the other 3 generations of Raikage are also fierce people. That each of the current 5 shadows is very powerful. This feast of the 5 shadows talks is what Chen is looking forward to the most. Came to the world of Hokage, how could I not see Wying Chen? I was looking forward to the next Wying talks, but today I was really tired after a busy day, so I smiled and hugged Kushina and Makoto, and slept beautifully. Chen's guess was not bad at all. A few days later, the 3 generations of Hokage sent a message, asking Chen, Minato, and White Fang to gather at the Hokage building. On the Hokage building, the 3 generations of Hokage saw the 3 Tsuchikage 3 and straight to the point. I received an invitation from the 3 generations of Tsuchikage to invite all the shadows of the 5 kingdoms, plus Hanzo, the leader of the Kingdom of Rain, to gather in the Kingdom of Rain and hold a show together. 5 shadows talk. Really is the 5 shadows talk. This time the 5 shadows talks. I want you two, Chen and Minato, to act as my escorts and accompany me to the Land of Rain to participate in the 5 shadows talks. Let White Fang take over Anbu when I'm not in the village and keep the village stable. 3 generations rode. Yes. White Fang knelt down on one knee and saluted. Chen and Minato looked at each other and nodded. The location of the 5 shadows meeting this time is actually set in the Land of Rain. But it is not surprising to think about Chen. After all, the Land of Rain is the battlefield of this ninja world war, and it is also the border of the 3 major countries. The meeting place is set at the Land of Rain is also normal. In addition, looking at this situation, Hanzo from the Land of Rain will also participate in the 5 shadow talks this time, which makes Chen feel a little more interesting. 5 shadows plus Hanzo. If this lineup is properly placed in basketball, all stars have the current peak power that can see the world, and it is really good. The 5 shadows talks have already begun. As for monthly tickets, 253 3 generations of Raikage, the future 4 generations of Raikage I. Chen and Minato were also very excited when they learned about the meeting with the 5 shadows in the Land of Rain, especially Chen. This time the 5 shadows talk, we Konoha went to participate as a victorious country, but after this ninja war is over, I am afraid that some people will not give up, we must be careful. Both of you have extraordinary strength. I am very relieved. 3 generations of Hokage said with a smile. Tatsu and Minato both nodded. The 5 shadow talks officially started, and Tatsu and Minato marched forward with the 3 generations of Hokage as guards. Recently, Minato's strength has progressed very quickly, and he is almost a cage-level powerhouse, which is really not easy. Not to mention Chen White Fang in the village, which also makes the 3 generations of Hokage very reassured. Although White Fang is even afraid of Sanin's existence, his strength is unfathomable. Chen has never played against White Fang, but he passed the first few tests. Also know that White Fang's strength is very strong. It was said in the original book that White Fang was so powerful that even Sanin would shy away. Chen and Minato packed up their things, and after Chen informed the Uchiha clan, they went on the road with Minato and the 3 generations of Hokage, and went to the Land of Rain to participate in the 5 shadow talks this time. Konoha is very close to the Land of Rain, so Chen and the others are the last to go out. Others such as Mizukage and Reikage are on their way early. I am afraid they will arrive one step ahead. Approaching the Land of Rain. Only in the territory of the Land of Rain, the rain began to fall continuously, falling like broken beads, and the air was full of moisture. This is the harsh environment of the rain country. It's really hard to fight for you here. 3 generations of Hokage looked around and sighed softly. Chen and Minato both smiled. It has been a while since the end of the Ninja World War. Thinking about the hard battles in those years, Chen and Minato really felt an indescribable dream. Enter the Land of Rain and head straight for the largest city in the Land of Rain. Cities in the Land of Rain are all spire-like buildings, and almost all of them are made of steel, which is also for the sake of preventing rain. The streets were bustling with people, and it seemed that because of the end of the war, the Land of Rain was gradually coming out of the trauma of the war. At this moment, Chen felt several powerful chakra breaths. Only Chen, Minato also sensed it. Minato immediately guarded the front of the 3 generations of Hokage, looked vigilant, and looked forward. The powerful chakra aura just now appeared ahead. This chakra aura is very strong, and Chen is also surprised by it, and the person who comes here must have a lot of background. Minato, don't be nervous, this chakra breath should be the 3rd generation, it's been a long time. 3 generations of Hokage said with emotion. 3 generations of Reikage. Chen's heart moved. The 3 generations of Reikage are real people. In the original work, the 3 generations of Reikage have repeatedly used brute force to fight with the 8 tails, and suppress the 8 tails runaway. Note that this is not ninjutsu, but hand-to-hand combat. It is enough to prove that the 3 generations of Reikage can be afraid. The cause of death of the 3rd generation of Reikage is because he died of exhaustion in the 3rd Ninja War, fighting with 10,000 Iwagakure for 3 days and 3 nights. One person versus 10,000 Iwagakure, not to mention the terrifying combat power. Of course, the 3rd generation Reikage failed in the end, and there were only 10,000 Iwagakure on the battlefield, and the 3rd generation Reikage certainly did not fight with 10,000 people at the same time, but it was enough to show the strength of the 3rd generation Reikage. This guy is an absolute beast. Chen looked at the person who came, only to see that it was a dark-skinned and strong man, more than 2 meters tall, with a majestic complexion. His upper body was barely wearing clothes, showing developed muscles, and there was a tattoo of Rei on his right shoulder. Impressive. Behind the 3rd generation of Reikage, followed by a young man who was 7 or 8 similar in appearance to him. This young man was about the same age as Chen and Minato, and he looked at Chen with an interested expression. Sure enough, it was the 3rd generation Reikage, and the 3rd generation Reikage beside him was his son, the future 4th generation Reikage. 3 generations of Hokage, it's been a long time. Reikage came, and the muscles on his body exploded like a burst of powerful chakra, which made Chen and Minato both secretly startled. The 3rd generation of Reikage is not simple. The strength is very strong, at least high-level cage level, and there are still many masters in the ninja world today. Chen sighed with emotion. Chen's strength has grown very rapidly, but he will not underestimate other people because of this. The shadows of the 5 major countries are at least high-level cage level strength. There are even some shadows strengths, which have reached the top cage level indistinctly. Cage level strength in this world, but Chen has a faint evaluation of these cage level powerhouses, such as ordinary cage level powerhouses, just like the 4 generations of Cage in the original work, Engel, al., the strength of Hidan et al. The stronger intermediate cage level is almost equivalent to the Tsunade 3 in the current state, and its strength cannot be underestimated. High-level cage level, it is the shadows of the 5 major countries, as well as Hanzo and others. As for the strongest top cage level, it is the super powerhouse in the heyday of the 2nd generation Hokage Senju Tobarama. On top of that, it is a level that only a few people, such as Senju Hashirama and Uchiha Madara, can reach, and it can be called a legend. 3 generations of Raikage is at least high-level cage level, even Chen has to be a little bit afraid. 3 generations of Hokage and Raikage looked at each other. Of course, the two had known each other for a while and exchanged for a while. At this time, the young man behind Raikage, that is, the future 4 generations of Raikage, eyes suddenly looked at Shang Chen, and his eyes showed eagerness to challenge. He eagerly said, "You are the light of the stars, known as the young man in the ninja world. The light of the stars of the first genius of a generation." I looked at Shang Chen, the challenge and eagerness in his eyes were undisguised. Chen raised his eyebrows. The next 4 generations of Raikage in front of him seemed to be very interested in him, but it is no wonder that Chen's current name is so high that he is famous in 5 countries, and of course he will attract attention, not to mention that Chen and I are still the same age. The tale of the group. 254 Who was the first genius of the younger generation? Yes, it's me. Chenpai pouted, but he did not shy away from I, the future 4th generation Raikage, who looked very young at this time. I looked at Chen with bright eyes. Everyone says that you are the first genius of the younger generation. You know your achievements in the Battle of the Rain Country, and you admire them very much. You don't know the famous light of the stars. I have a chance, let me challenge you. I obviously knew Chen very well, but there was nothing he could do. Most of the information he received a while ago was saying that this young man was about the same age as him. Even in the land of thunder, Chen's name was like thunder. I'm not some young generation's first genius. Chen shrugged. Why, are you afraid to admit it? I was a little surprised, looked at Chen in astonishment, and immediately sneered. He probably did not expect that Chen would actually say such a thing, and his eyes were faintly disdainful. I is a very straightforward and heroic person, which is also the case in the original book. He saw Chen before, he still had some admiration for Chen. After all, Chen created a legend on the battlefield. He almost led Konoha to victory with the power of one person, and people still talk about it to this day. But Chen now looks a little shirky, and I is a little disdainful. Seeing I's expression, Chen said lightly, "No, I'm just not interested in the title of the first genius of the young generation. If the words, young generation, are removed, I can still consider it." The 3 generations of Hokage, Raikage, Minato and I were slightly startled. What a big tone in Chen's words. If you remove the 4 words of the younger generation, wouldn't it be the confidence and calmness of the first genius? Even the 3 generations of Hokage can't help but sigh. I was also stunned for a moment, and then a deep look of admiration flashed in his eyes, as expected of the light of the stars, so confident and energetic. No wonder he was able to win the war. This guy I has a very outgoing personality. Chen said this, but I's good feelings suddenly rose, showing his admiration for Chen. Minato coughed, but just kept sighing. Chen, this guy is really in the limelight. Hearing this sentence made his blood boil. I have also heard the name of Starlight, and it is one of the best young people I have ever met. 3rd generation of Raikage also praised. Chen smiled noncommittally, but he remained calm for the 3 generations of Raikage's admiration. 3 generations of Hokage laughed and changed the topic. Raikage came so early, I don't know if the others have arrived. Other films have also arrived, especially the 3 generations of Mizukage and Tsuchikage. I heard that they have come a long time ago. Reikage looked at the 3 generations of Hokage. You are the latest. It's better to come early than coincidence. 3 generations of Hokage smiled. In that case, let's go to the 5 shadows talk together. In fact, Konoha and the Kingdom of Thunder still have a lot of origins. During the First Ninja World War, Konoha and the Kingdom of Thunder intended to form an alliance. Senju Tobarama even ally with the 2nd generation Reikage, but was used by the Golden Horn Silver British troops to use 6 paths. The 7th Star Sword and other ninja tools left by the Immortal killed the 2nd generation Reikage respectively, and Senju Tobarama was also severely injured and died the most. This made the relationship between Konoha and the Kingdom of Thunder hit a freezing point. It was not until the 3rd generation of Hokage came to power that the relationship between the 2 countries gradually returned to normal and got better and better. All right. Reikage nodded in agreement. Wait. At this time, he heard eyes blocking. I looked at Shang Chen, his eyes were filled with the fire of challenge, and said, Uchiha Chen, I want to challenge you first. Chen raised his eyebrows and looked at I's eyes were full of fighting intent. He said, this time the 5 shadows talks, I came because of you. I want to experience the power of the light of the stars. I's temperament and personality are relatively hot, and this time the 5 shadows meeting was also for Chen Kai, and he wanted to know what kind of edge this legendary young generation's first genius is. Seeing I say this, Reikage smiled without shyness. It's true, Uchiha-chan, I has always regarded you as the strongest opponent. Regarded as the strongest opponent by the future 4 generations of Reikage, Chen didn't know what it was like. It was a little strange, and he was a little dumbfounded. Aware of the strong fighting intent in I's eyes, Chen knew that this battle was inevitable, so he nodded and said, all right, then come on. When I heard Chen's agreement, he was immediately extremely excited, grinned, and said, this place is not big enough, let's go to an open place. Chen looked at the surrounding streets, and he was indeed tied up, so he nodded. I know there is an open space outside, just in time for a battle. I Dao, his eyes were full of eagerness to try. Chen went out with while the 3 generations of Hokage, Reikage, and Minato followed, and were very curious about the outcome of the battle. I took Chen to an open place outside, surrounded by huge water pipes. This is also a unique building in the Country of Rain. The Country of Rain has been raining for years, so water pipes can be seen everywhere. Nearly 100 meters around are open spaces, enough for Chen and I to fight. I's eyes were both solemn and excited. Uchiha-chan, they've been looking forward to this battle for a long time. I hope you won't let me down, otherwise I'll lose the title of the first genius. Although I don't care what the first genius is, I still have to tell you that it's unlikely that you want to take something from me. Chen grinned lightly. HMPH, that's not necessarily, I want to see how dazzling the light of the stars is. I let out a low roar. The chakra around him was mobilized, and a light blue luster wrapped around him. The light blue chakra was constantly mobilized and gradually turned into dark blue. The powerful chakra activated the cells of I's body, making his body activated and possessing extremely strong power. Minato and the 3 generations of Hokage on one side looked solemn, while Reikage showed approval. Then I'll come to see the first genius of the Kingdom of Thunder, how far his strength has reached. Chen said lightly. Don't worry, everyone, I have already figured out how to deal with Kyuubi, 9 tails, or something. Don't worry, read it with confidence, it's all a foreshadowing of watermelon digging. Next, the plot will be accelerated and improved. Please download Filu's novel. 255. Didn't you find it? Chen and I acted at the same time almost in an instant. I only saw a strong chakra erupting from I's body. This chakra enveloped his whole body, making I's strength, speed, and defense reach the peak, attacking power and defense. The power is greatly enhanced. Chen's eyes also turned on 3 Tomo Sharingan almost instantly, catching Ai's movements. Reflow burst. Ai's ninjutsu is inherited from 3 generations of Reikage. It is a perfect combination of ninjutsu and taijutsu. It uses Raiden Thunder style to stimulate the potential of the body, and then uses taijutsu to attack. Being activated by Raiden Thunder style, Ai's speed can even reach a level that is comparable to the shunjutsu, and he arrives at Chen's side almost in an instant. This terrifying speed makes Minato and the 3rd generation Hokage a little bit surprised. His pupils shrank, watching Ai's actions. Although this instant art is not as fast as Hiraishin's, it is an instant achieved at almost pure speed. Minato saw the doorway at a glance, and secretly said in surprise. 3rd generation of Hokage can't hide his surprise. Reikage, you have a good son, so young and so powerful. Reikage smiled proudly. This kid is really good, but I'm more curious about the strength of Starlight. Izangliu is to condense Raiden Thunder style chakra on the elbow, use the elbow to attack the enemy, and attack Chen. Ai's blow almost carried the momentum of a mountain, and he slashed hard, directly hitting Chen's body. Due to the fact that he moved too fast, Chen could hardly dodge, so he was hit by Ai's blow. But then, Ai saw that Chen's body suddenly turned into crows flying in place, and these crows fled everywhere, flying towards the sky. This is demonic illusion. Ai was stunned. He didn't expect that he was actually hit by Chen's demonic illusion. The crows scattered around, gathered in another place, and turned into Chen's figure. Damn, you confuse me with demonic illusion. I found Chen's position, and a trace of anger flashed in his eyes. I won't be fooled a second time by the same trick, don't underestimate me. Ai's strength at this time is also not trivial. According to Chen's estimation, Ai's strength should be similar to Minato, maybe slightly weaker than Minato, but it is limited. That is to say, Ai is also at the peak stage of quasi-shadowing at this time, and he will almost reach Cage level. But what is more difficult than Minato is that Ai not only has a very fast speed, but also has a very strong attack and defense power. If he is hit by Ai, even Chen will not feel well. Aroused anger, and shouted, "Lay abuse level. Thunder abuse level." This is Susanoo, who is famous in the original book. Of course, Ai's strength is now comparable to that of the future Reikage, but nonetheless it should not be underestimated. Ai roared angrily, and suddenly rushed to Chen's body, with almost no room left, directly touching Chen's side, roaring and smashing down. The momentum is like Hayate, it is as fast as lightning, and it is as powerful as thunder. This blow, if you get hit, it's definitely not a joke. The corner of Chen's mouth raised a confident smile. Just through Sharingan's observation, Chen had already seen Ai's movements clearly, so Chen prepared in advance. The art of instant body. Chen also used the instant body technique. I only saw Chen's figure flashing, and it had completely disappeared in place. Chen's instant body technique was passed down from the 6 Paths Immortal, and it is not inferior to the speed of Hiraishin's technique. Boom! At the place where Chen Yuan was standing, there was a violent explosion, accompanied by a loud bang. The soil splashed up, the gravel shook continuously, and even the ground shook slightly, and all the places within a radius of more than 10 meters were filled. A ruin. Just because of Ai's attack, it created such a terrifying momentum. Chen used the instant body technique to avoid Ai's attack. Chen's instant body technique is getting more and more powerful. Even Minato sighed with emotion. Chen's use of instant body technique is definitely not inferior to Hiraishin, but it is not as accurate as Hiraishin in positioning transfer. Escaped again. He was dodged twice in a row, and Ai's anger was even stronger. His speed and attack power were always something he was proud of, but he was dodged by Chen one after another, so how could he not be angry? The strength also has to be admired. Although Chen didn't make a single move, just relying on a few chats and dodging was enough to prove Chen's formidable abilities. As expected of the light of the stars, it has such strength. It just so happens that I still have one of the strongest ultimate moves that I haven't used yet. Ai's eyes became firm. Lay Eye Bomb. I roared and charged directly towards Chen, leaping high, ready to shoot out of his body like a cannonball, falling from a high altitude, cooperating with a Raiden Thunder-style explosion-like attack towards Chen, imposing like a rainbow, thunderous, destroying amazing power. The force of the fall, coupled with the explosive power of I, is really terrifying, and it strikes like an explosion. However, Chen was not in a hurry, only to see a burst of golden light emerging from Chen's body, a skeleton frame wrapped around Chen's body. Susanoo appeared with a bang, resisting I's blow. Boom! A dull thunderous sound exploded. The shock wave formed so much that the surrounding dust was flying. The three generations of Hokage, Minato and Raikage all witnessed the battle together. The battle between the strongest genius of the Kingdom of Thunder and the Light of the Stars. What is this? Chen used Susanoo to resist I's blow, and I was completely stunned, with boundless surprise and astonishment in his eyes. But soon, I's face became angry again, and he said angrily, "You actually resisted my blow again. Damn it, I don't believe you can stop it. I is ready to start again." Didn't you find out? Raikage's face sank, and he finally spoke. Uchiha-chan blocked or dodged your attack 3 times in a row, and each time the method was different, but the result was exactly the same. 3 times in a row, you couldn't even hurt a single hair of him. Here. I was stunned, only to finally discover this fact. 256 I am convinced. After Raikage's suggestion, I discovered this amazing fact. He attacked Chen 3 times in a row, almost with all his strength, but Chen seemed to be at ease, easily resisting or dodging his attacks 3 times in a row, and what was even more terrifying was that Chen used a different method every time. First, demonic illusion, followed by the instant body technique, and then Susanoo. 3 times in a row, Chen hardly suffered any damage, and he didn't even move much, but he easily defended I's offensive. After being reminded by Raikage, Minato reacted. There was a deep look of astonishment in his eyes. Chen is actually so powerful that he has resisted I's attacks 3 times in a row in 3 completely different ways. This strength is simply unfathomable. Chen smiled slightly, with an unfathomable smile on his face, and winked at I's. In fact, only Chen himself knew that Chen tried his best to dodge these 3 times, and even used Susanoo to resist. Although it's just a young Susanoo, it's enough to show how powerful I's attack is. But in the eyes of Raikage and other uninformed people, Chen's performance is really unfathomable. He used 3 different methods to resist I's attack 3 times in a row. What this means can only show that Chen's strength is far beyond I. So, like this, a beautiful misunderstanding was born. Raikage and I couldn't help but stunned, while Chen snickered to himself. I was reminded by Raikage. His eyes changed completely when he looked at Chen, and the confident attack just now became, showing a downturn, and even his breath was a little unstable. Of the stars in front of him is actually so much stronger than himself. I's eyes are full of astonishment, but he has no choice but to admit that Chen is indeed powerful. He has resisted his attack with such ease 3 times in a row. He has never been such a person before. I've seen it before, not to mention that this person in front of him is still his peers. When Chen saw I's expression, he knew that this guy was wrong, but I also misunderstood. At this moment, the future 4th generation Raikage looked at him with shocking eyes. In fact, the strength gap between Chen and I is of course not that big, but people are always afraid of unknown things, and subconsciously amplify Chen's strength, but frighten themselves. It's my turn to attack. Chen smiled and shot violently. Without hand seal, Chen used Susanoo directly. The young Susanoo suddenly appeared, and a huge skeleton palm grabbed it out, with great momentum, and directly grabbed I. I instinctively wanted to avoid, but just waiting, he met Chen's Sharingan. Demonic illusion, Naraku hypnosis. Chen Sharingan turns, and also uses demonic illusion at the same time. Although I's strength is very strong, Chen's demonic illusion can still cause I's actions to be delayed for a moment, and this is how demonic illusion is lifted. It was just this moment's gap, but Chen took the lead. Chen's Susanoo skeleton palm grabbed out and grabbed Ai directly. This chakra, and the golden skeleton, is this Uchiha Chen's special ability Susanoo. By Susanoo. Holding it, I can feel Susanoo's huge chakra and power, which makes Ai full of fear, thinking of the attack that was blocked by Chen just now, and finally understands that this power belongs to Chen's Susanoo. I was caught by Susanoo and couldn't break free for a while. With a roar, the chakra in the whole body condensed, and Radiant Thunder style, spread all over the body, activating the muscles of the whole body, trying to get out of Susanoo. Ai's strength is still very strong. In the process, let Chen do feel slightly surprised. However, with Ai's continuous improvement of Radiant Thunder style state, his chakra is also consumed violently, while Chen's Susanoo is not something he can break through in a short time. The first genius of the younger generation in the Kingdom of Thunder is really good, much stronger than Iwagaker's Lois. Chen said lightly. Ai's strength is very good, at least better than Lois, almost equal to Minato. Chen's original intention was just to accept Ai's challenge and see how the future 4 generations of Raikage are capable. As a result, under the test, it was found that Ai's strength is really extraordinary. If he and Killer Bee are together and attack at the same time, it must be stronger. Chen is very interested in this, but now Ai is not his opponent. Chen's strength is almost the strongest among his peers. But now you are not my opponent. Chen shook his head and said lightly. Afterwards, only Susanoo's power was swept away, and he smashed Ai out with a mighty thunderbolt. Ai's body was thrown dozens of meters away, and fell heavily on the ground. A huge deep pit appeared, surrounded by dust. Flying everywhere, showing the power of this blow. Even so, Chen showed mercy. Susanoo disappeared from Chen's body. Chen's expression was relaxed. With the progress of his yang escape, Chen's use of Susanoo in the early form no longer had a severe consumption, and the consumption of pupil power was also reduced a lot. At this rate of progress, I believe it will not be too far from the eternal Mangekyo. I was blasted out by Susanoo's blow, and fell heavily to the ground, creating a deep pit. Fortunately, after I was activated by Radiant Thunder style, his body's defense was greatly improved, so although this blow made him embarrassed, it was only injured, not too serious. Chen shook his head, secretly slandering. Ai's ninjutsu is enough for pervert. In this state, he is simply a Shaoqiang who can't be beaten to death. Smoke cleared. I was in the smoke, looked at Chen and sighed softly. It is indeed Uchiha Chen. I finally learned the power of the light of the stars. Your strength is unpredictable. I am convinced that I lost. Although Ai is reckless, he is open-minded and straightforward. I thought my strength was the absolute leader among my peers, but it seems that I am still arrogant. Uchiha-chan, I lost. Ai shook his head. His tone was serious, but there was not much dejection. On the contrary, he was still full of fighting spirit. If you want to read the novel without underline automatically. 257 4th generation Raikage is my sidekick. I looked at Chen, although he admitted that he lost, but the fighting spirit in his tone did not diminish at all. Chen shook his head. This guy is really a fighting maniac. Chen won Ai this time. It is estimated that after Ai knows the gap between the two, he will work harder, and he will definitely challenge Chen more often. As expected of a man who will become the 4th generation of Raikage in the future, his strength and mind should not be underestimated, and he is not inferior to Minato. Chen secretly said. Tell the truth, Chen didn't have any bad feelings towards Ai, and even had a slight affection for him. After all, this guy Ai acts upright, although he is a little reckless, but he is much cuter than Danzo, Hanzo, a conspirator who is skilled in calculation. You won the prize, and you're not bad. Chen rode. Ai shook his head. Now I know that the light of the stars is not a false name, but I am too arrogant. I thought that my strength would be comparable to yours, but who would have thought that you could easily resist me 3 times in a row? I am afraid I can't even hurt you. Chen secretly laughed. I imagined him so strong. It was a misunderstanding. However, Chen did not defend himself, and let Ai misunderstand. One day in the future, I will challenge you again, and I must defeat you in an upright manner. I said solemnly and seriously. Chen shrugged. Although your courage is commendable, your ideas are unrealistic. I will stand at the top and wait for your challenge, but you have no hope of winning. It's a confident boy, but you do have the capital of self-confidence. Reikage listened and said lightly. Reikage looked at Chen with some admiration. Even Reikage, a fierce man, had to admit that Chen's potential and strength were only seen in his life. Reikage turned to look at I. It's not too late now that you know there are people outside, don't let me down again. Yes. I nodded solemnly, his eyes full of burning intent. In this era, there are indeed countless geniuses, Sanin, Namikaze Minato, I, Killer Bee, Terumi Mei. These geniuses turned out, embellished the entire ninja world, and radiated a little bit of light. Of Chen seems to have added a bright sun to the younger generation. Even the geniuses like Namikaze Minato, I, etc., will lose their color in front of Chen. Chen, you've become stronger again. Minato walked up to Tatsu and said in a low voice. Minato is undoubtedly one of the people who knows Chen's strength best. The two fought side by side on the battlefield, and they have long since developed a tacit understanding. Don't just talk about me, neither are you. Chen shrugged. During this time, Minato's progress has been very rapid. Not only Minato, but also Sanin's strength has also improved. These people are geniuses, and their strength is in a period of rapid growth. But in comparison, Chen's growth is the most eye-catching. Since the battle is over, let's go to the Five Shadows talk, lest the other shadows wait for a long time. 3 generations of Hokage smiled slightly, and at the same time looked at Shang Chen, showing admiration. For Chen's performance just now, the 3 generations of Hokage are also very amazed. Alright, several people from other countries have come, and it's time for you to go too. Reikage nodded. And Reikage looked at each other. The two walked in front, Minato followed closely behind Sandai, and Chen walked leisurely behind. However, by Chen's side, I kept following Chen, carefully observing Chen's every move, revealing a thoughtful look. What are you doing? Chen looked at I with a bit of confusion. I said seriously, I am following your every move. In order to defeat you, I must first understand you. Chen was speechless. He didn't expect that the future 4 generations of Reikage would also have such a side, which made him a little dumbfounded. I really regards Chen as his strongest opponent, so he carefully observes and understands Chen's every move and is extremely serious. But in this way, I is a bit like Chen's sidekick, always following behind Chen, but leaving Reikage aside. Don't you think it's weird to follow me like this? Chen rode. I don't think, from today onwards, you are my strongest opponent. In order to defeat you, it's no big deal for me to be by your side. I said without thinking. Chen's head was full of black lines, and he snorted softly, I don't want you to follow. Don't be so rude, Uchiha-chan, you are very strong. And I have the most respect for the strong. Anyway, this 5 Shadows meeting is not very interesting, it is better for us to learn a few more times. I said excitedly. Truly a fighting maniac. Chen shook his head, I really don't know how this guy will become the 4th generation Reikage in the future. Regardless of. No matter what Chen said, Idu was always following behind Chen. No matter how much he swayed it, Chen could only let him go. Several people went to the gathering place of the 5 Shadows talk together. This time, the location of the 5 Shadows talk was in the very center of the city of the Land of Rain, and there was one of the tallest buildings. Chen saw this building and felt a little familiar. Hey, isn't this the headquarters of the future Akatsuki base? No wonder Akatsuki, who is familiar with the future, is starting to move towards the entire ninja world based on the Land of Rain. Let's go up, the other shadows should have been waiting for a long time. Reikage said lightly. Go. Chen and the others flickered in an instant, and went up to the tallest building. There were water pipe passages everywhere, densely packed, and they went straight up along the water pipe passages, and finally reached the tallest building in the land of rain. This is also where Hanzo is on weekdays, and there are Omegakure guards all around. When these Omegakures see Chen and others coming, they are vigilant at first, and then they realize the identity of Chen and others. We are here to participate in the Five Shadows talks, lead the way. Reikage looked domineering and spoke lightly. These Omegakures obviously knew Reikage's identity, and took another look at the three generations of Hokage and Chen and others, and they didn't dare to neglect, and hurriedly led the way. Chen and others followed, while I was still following Chen, as if he had completely become Chen's sidekick and his body was recovering. Visually, next week or so, we can start to speed up the update. Thank you for your understanding and support of Watermelon. Fei Lu reminds you. Reading Three Things Collection, Recommendation, Points. 258 I'm here to help Konoha pull the hatred. Following Omegakure to the building, Chen realized that the building was even bigger than he had imagined. There were passages made up of water pipes everywhere in the interior, extending in all directions, as if fascinated by Gongyi. Fortunately, there is Omegakure to lead the way, otherwise it will take a while to find the way. Under the leadership of Omegakure, Chen and the others finally reached the center of the building, only to see a hall in the center with a huge round table surrounded by ninjas from all over the world. Omegakure, Iwagakure, Sunagakure, Kurigakure and other ninjas from major countries all appeared. With Chen and others and Reikage coming together, the 5 countries and Omegakure have gathered. Chen also saw many familiar faces, such as wearing masks, Hanzo with a slightly gloomy face. Kazekage who have played against Chen. Chen and Hanzo and the 3 generations of Kazekage have all played against each other. In terms of strength alone, Hanzo is stronger than the 3 generations of Kazekage. A man known as a demigod, and he once overpowered Sannin. Reikage's words are not bad at all, except for Tatsu and others, the ninjas from all countries have already arrived. Hanzo sat in the middle, and he looked around as if he was looking at something. The 3rd generation of Kazekage was sitting on the right-hand side. Kazekage saw Chen and others coming, his eyes moved slightly, and then he focused his eyes on Chen. On the left, Chen saw a short middle-aged man. This man was probably less than 50 years old. He was very short and had a distinct appearance. The most surprising thing was that his nose was actually Yuhi color. 3rd generation of Tsuchikage, the 2-day scale Onoki. Chen immediately recognized the identity of this person, the 3rd generation of Tsuchikage, the 3rd generation of Tsuchikage Grandmaster Jinten, particle style and absolute powerhouse in the original book. Beside Tsuchikage was Lois, who had fought with Tatsu several times. Seeing Chen's arrival, Tsuchikage's eyes moved, his eyes went beyond Sarutobi Hiruzen, and he actually focused his eyes directly on Chen's body. Lois also looked at Chen with a burning gaze. In addition to Hanzo, Kazekage and Tsuchikage, there is a person in this hall who is not very familiar to Chen. It is a middle-aged man with an unfamiliar face, and it is the 3rd generation of Mizukage. The 3rd generation of Mizukage also seemed to be very interested in Chen, and followed the eyes of everyone to look at Chen. For a while, the atmosphere in the hall was a little weird. It was clear that everyone came to participate in the 5 Shadows talk, but Chen Yi seemed to steal all the limelight, and everyone turned their attention to him. Among the people sitting, Hanzo and Kazekage had both been with Chen, but were forced to retreat by Chen. One was defeated by Chen. Among them, Hanzo also offered a reward of 50 million wanted Chen, and of course Hanzo and Kazekage were very concerned about Chen. The reason why Tsuchikage pays attention to Chen is also very simple, because Chen single-handedly guided Konoha to victory on the battlefield, so Iwagakure had to propose talks and accept the passive situation of the battlefield. So Tsuchikage is also very interested in Chen. As for Mizukage, I also want to see what this starlight looks like. So it is very strange that on such important occasions as the 5 Shadows talks, the Shadows turned their attention to Chen. Chen attracted everyone's attention, but for a while, he became the most dazzling presence in the 5 Shadow talks. Minato couldn't help laughing bitterly when he saw this scene, and he really didn't care. Wherever you go, it is the focus of attention, and it is really hard to ignore. Everyone saw Chen, and Tsuchikage and Mizukage, who had never seen Chen, were slightly surprised, because the young man in front of him was extremely handsome, and his appearance was unbelievably handsome, but he was younger than they thought. Such an age, the few figures who have made a name for themselves are all silent, just staring at Chen, and the atmosphere is a bit strange for a while. Even Chen felt a little weird. Present, except for the 3 generations of Mizukage, the others were somewhat contradictory with Chen, which made Chen secretly slander, where is this coming for peace talks, it is simply to draw hatred. However, it's not bad to fight for hatred. Chen is still a person of Konoha now, and he is more of a hater for Konoha. In the future, if he betrays Konoha, he can also cause some trouble for Konoha. Chen secretly thought about it. I saw this scene, he was full of emotion, and his scalp was tingling secretly. If so many heavyweights looked at him with hostile eyes, he would probably be a little nervous, but on the other hand, Chen was calm, as if he regarded him as nothing. I secretly admired. Chen is also looking at Wang and Hanzo secretly. There is no doubt that these people are the most powerful and powerful owners of the ninja world. It can be said that in this spacious conference room, they represent the current peak of the ninja world. The person. Chen even had a malicious thought in his mind. If a terrorist dropped a bomb in this conference room at this time, the ninja world would be shaken. The famous light of the stars, I finally saw it today, and it lives up to its reputation. It's a pity that I didn't get a lesson on the battlefield. 2 days later, Onoki spoke in a low voice, and when he saw Chen's calm expression, he couldn't help but say lightly. Chen shrugged. I heard about the 3 generations of Tsuchikage Grandmaster Jinten, particle style, I always wanted to see, but unfortunately I didn't have the opportunity, and I regret it. Tiantianping Onoki's expression sank, and he snorted softly. He tried to speak, but he was very courageous and not afraid at all. Hanzo and Kazekage are smiling, they have played against Chen, they are familiar with Chen's temperament, they are indeed fearless people. Seeing the 3rd generation Tsuchikage slumped on Chen's body, Hanzo and Kazekage felt a little happy in their hearts. Chen is even more unscrupulous. Anyway, it's a big deal to bring hatred to Konoha. He is a Konoha person now, and I think Onoki will put this account on Konoha's head in 2 days. Not to mention, this feeling is really good. Even Tsuchikage can run at will, and there are Konoha and 3 generations of Hokage in front of them. This hatred is a bit cool. Everyone is here, this time the 5 shadows talks, let's begin. Hanzo, as the host, spoke at this time. 259 has a loli called Terumi Mei. Well, let's start then. 2 days later, Onoki snorted softly, looked away from Chen's body, and sat on the side. Sarutobi Hiruzen and Reikage also took their seats, while Chen looked at the 5 shadows with a bit of boredom. Chen knew very well that this meeting of the 5 shadows was the formulation of the rules of the ninja world. Peace treaty, but this contract did not last long. Because in Chen's impression, the 3rd ninja war followed in the years following this ninja war, and it was in that war that Obito was completely blackened, and Kakashi was also obtained because of this. Sharingan. Then let's talk. I hope that all the ninja troops of the 3 major countries will withdraw from the border of my reign country. Hanzo said lightly. Hanzo is also very strong, but under the suppression of the major powers, the reign country's living space is pitiful, just a cup. It's not a problem to want us to withdraw from the borders of the land of rain, but Konoha must promise not to start a war. The 2-day scale, Onoki said without hesitation. Constant quarrels among several parties, especially the 2-day scale Onoki and Sarutobi Hiruzen. Among the 5 major countries, Konoha has the deepest conflict with the land of the land, and the 2 countries are also the main rivals. Therefore, the focus of the conflict in the 5 shadows talks is the 2 countries. As for the Kingdom of Water and the Kingdom of Thunder, who had never participated in the war, they were watching the drama on the side. Mizukage and Reikage are very busy. Chen is not familiar with the 3 generations of Mizukage, but is a little interested in Reikage. He has been paying attention to the noise of everyone in the conference room, and subconsciously frowns. The 5 shadow talks this time will affect the next pattern of the ninja world. Chen is very clear about this, so he is also very concerned about the results of the 5 shadows talks. However, I seemed to lack interest and kept following behind Chen, whispering, "These guys are really annoying, they are chattering about the war. I remember that the country that wants to provoke the war the most is the land of the land, and now it's the end of it. It's ironic that the war can't wait. This ninja world war, the 2 countries who most want to provoke the war are the 2 kingdoms of Hefeng, the land of soil, that's why I will say so." Chen glanced at I and felt a little fond of this outspoken guy in his heart. At least I's straightforward personality was very much to Chen's appetite. "This is politics." Chen sneered lightly. "Hey, that's true, it's really boring to listen to them arguing here. Why didn't we go to the neighborhood and discuss how to ninjutsu?" I asked with a smile. Chen's heart moved. In fact, he is still curious about I's Raiden Thunder style. Chen and I are both Grandmaster Raiden Thunder style, but I's Raiden Thunder style is obviously very special, can inspire Raiden Thunder style. The combination of super strong ninjutsu and body can greatly improve the attack power and defense power. Is very curious about I's Raiden Thunder style. Alright. Chen immediately agreed. Chen and I temporarily left the conference room. Anyway, it seems that there will be no change in the conference room. The plan is to negotiate with no results. Seeing Chen and I both going out, Minato hesitated for a while, and followed suit. With Chen for too long, and even Minato, who has always been honest, has become a lot more slippery, and he has learned to be lazy. "Minato, you actually followed me out." Chen shook his head. I just saw you guys talking about ninjutsu." Minato scratched his head, and said a little embarrassedly, "I'm at the critical stage of improving my strength recently, so I want to discuss it too." "Come together then." Chen doesn't care. More ninjutsu exchanges are mutually beneficial for the 3 of them. Each ninja has their own strengths, not to mention geniuses like I and Minato. 3 of them are all of the same age, so there is no pressure to communicate, and they are both geniuses, so they have different opinions on ninjutsu. Although Chen had been instructed by the Old Man of 6 Paths, the Old Man of 6 Paths still let Chen study by himself most of the time. Chen and Minato and I exchanged and confirmed each other, but they also had other feelings. After all, I and Minato have different perspectives. Many ninjutsu ideas that Chen had never thought of before have been proposed, which made Chen more clear and benefited a lot. Not to mention I and Minato, they admire Chen even more, and Chen is almost always to the point when discussing, pointing directly to the Buddha's heart, which makes I and Minato even more admired. Especially I, who is simply shocked and respected Chen even more. This guy I always respected the strong, and after seeing Chen's strength, he agreed with him very much. Now that Chen's theory is so powerful, he admires it even more, and his eyes are different when he looks at Chen. I kept sighing in his heart, how powerful is this Uchiha Chen, and even the theory is so profound and unpredictable. Chen laughed secretly when he saw this. Ai's shocking appearance did not look like the 4th generation Reikage in the future. Discussing for a while, Chen gained a lot, and probably understood the theory of Aina Raiden Thunder style, which greatly inspired Chen. Perhaps in the near future, Chen will also be able to research and develop a similar ninjutsu. 3-man discussion was over. Chen and the others stood up. At this time, Minato looked around leisurely, suddenly stunned, and muttered a little strangely, "It's really strange, how can there be a little girl here?" Chen followed Minato's gaze, and sure enough, he saw a little girl with long brown hair, looking like a porcelain doll, about 8 years old, with a forehead guard from the Land of Water on her arm, obviously. Ninja of the Land of Water. It's just that for some reason, this little girl gave Chen a familiar feeling. The little girl was very beautiful. She was sitting not far away, dancing with her little feet, swaying back and forth, and her expression was cute. Seeing the appearance of this little girl, Chen faintly moved in his heart, and suddenly remembered the identity of this little girl. This age, the girl of the land of rain, this is Terumi Mei. The future 5 generations of Mizukage. And it is Terumi Mei in lowly form. Please ignore the name problem of the 4 generations of Reikage. In the original book, Reikage is called, so there is no way to remind you. 260 Terumi Mei can't be this cute. Please, ask for a reward for monthly pass. The future 5 generations of Mizukage, Terumi Mei. According to the official records of the original work, Terumi Mei is 2 years older than Kakashi, and now Kakashi is about 6 years old. So from the outside, Terumi Mei is about 8 years old. Looking at her forehead with the Water Kingdom on her hand, it proves that Terumi Mei has graduated from the ninja school and has become a genin. This is not surprising at all. Terumi Mei's talent is unquestionable. She is the only genius in the original book with 2 kinds of Kekkei Genkei. Strange, how can there be a little girl who seems to be from the land of water on occasions like the 5 Shadows talks? Minato whispered, slightly curious. Right now is the time of the 5 Shadows talks, and the people who come to the land of rain are all important people. How could there be a little girl in the 5 Shadows talks? Even I is a little curious. I guess it has something to do with Mizukage. Chen shrugged. Chen was surprised in his heart. Terumi Mei in lowly state, as expected lowly should be cultivated as expected, Terumi Mei, looks very cute. At this time, Terumi Mei does not have the bearing of one of the future 5 shadows, but it is far from being comparable to ordinary little girls. After all, ninjas are generally precocious, and the 8-year-old Terumi Mei is already a genin, and her strength is definitely among her peers. The best, I am afraid that the combat power can be comparable to Chunin. It seems that Tatsumi 3 kept looking at Terumi Mei. Terumi Mei, who was playing with her little feet, suddenly raised her head to look at Tatsumi 3. Her big eyes kept blinking, revealing a curious look. Who are you? Terumi Mei showed a look of alertness and calmly touched the ninja bag on her body. Minato noticed Terumi Mei's movements, and quickly explained gently, "Little sister, don't worry, we have no hostility." Minato quickly explained with a smile. "Hello uncle, you are a ninja from Konoha village." Terumi Mei took a step back and asked. "Uncle." Hearing this name, even Minato, who has always had a good personality and temperament, could not help but twitch his mouth. He is not even 16 years old. This girl called him Uncle Chen and almost laughed. Terumi Mei is a little cute. Ah. We are here to participate in the 5 Shadows talks. I stood up at this time, but also held back a smile, and said warmly, "Little sister, why are you here?" "Hello, uncle here, I am also here to participate in the 5 Shadows talk." Terumi Mei looked at I and said in a sweet voice. When the uncle I heard this name, the corners of his mouth twitched and he was quite speechless. Minato and I are only 8 years older than Terumi Mei, but the name Terumi Mei made both I and Minato feel a pain in the ass. "Your name is Terumi Mei, right?" He also walked up, and suddenly opened his mouth. Terumi Mei was stunned for a moment, her beautiful big eyes flickered. I and Minato looked at each other, but they were stunned. Why did this little girl call Chen here not uncle? But big brother Chen secretly laughed. This Mei-ming is really a bit mo. Haha, this title is also drunk. I was a little unconvinced and pointed. Zhu Chen said, "Why do you call him big brother, and we call us uncle?" Terumi Mei glanced at I and replied confidently, "Because the big brother is very handsome, you guys look much older than him." So old, I almost vomited out a mouthful of old blood. Minato also had black lines all over his head, and the corners of his mouth twitched. But purely in terms of appearance, Chen is indeed an excellent bloodline inherited from the Uchiha family, and looks very handsome. Of course, Minato is actually not bad, but Terumi Mei is called that for some reason. Chen silently gave Terumi Mei 32 and 32 likes. It is worthy of being the future Mizukage. Well done. Chen thought Terumi Mei was a very domineering character, but I didn't expect it to be so cute. Terumi Mei can't be so cute. Terumi Mei blinked her eyes and turned to look at Shang Chen, tilting her head in confusion. Big brother, you haven't said it yet, why do you know my name? I and Minato also looked at Chen, slightly puzzled, and it stands to reason that Chen should not know Terumi Mei's name. Chen smiled and explained, that's because I once heard that there is a genius ninja in the land of water, who is beautiful and cute, called Terumi Mei. Chen's remarks made Terumi Mei's heart and Satomi's heart swell, and John's face couldn't help showing a sweet smile. Minato was stunned, and murmured, sure enough, it's like this again. What's wrong? I saw Chen and Terumi Mei chatting very happily together, and was quite speechless about it, and turned to chat with Minato. Minato's expression is very helpless. Chen has always been like this. It seems that the peach blossom luck is surprisingly good. Now it seems that even this girl can't stop Chen's charm. I was stunned for a moment. It's really enviable to have such an ability. Minato Zhang was speechless. Chen and Terumi Mei chatted for a while, and found that Terumi Mei at this time was really cute, with those big eyes that flickered and flickered, like a porcelain doll. At this time, Terumi Mei was not inferior to Conan. Of course, Conan is several years older than Terumi Mei. Chen, should we go in? I wonder if the five shadows have finished talking. Minato patted Chen's shoulder and whispered. Chen Zheng was chatting with Terumi Mei, and nodded when he heard the words. At this time, Terumi Mei suddenly rolled his eyes and heard Minato's address to Terumi Mei. He couldn't help saying, your name is Chen Uchiha Chen. Chen smiled. It seems that you have heard of me. Uchiha Chen, the light of the stars. Terumi Mei nodded in recognition when she saw Chen. Her eyes lit up with excitement. Uchiha Chen, you are really Uchiha Chen. Chen was a little surprised, didn't expect Terumi Mei to react so strongly to him, but nodded anyway. Then I heard Terumi Mei excitedly say, Uchiha Chen, how about I marry you when I grow up? PFF'd. Chen, Minato and I three sprayed all over the ground.